Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. As more news comes out of Manchester United, chaotic news, yes. Good news, possibly not. Progressive news, you're kidding. You're kidding. I mean, we haven't signed a player for coming up for... I mean, it must be 4 weeks since we signed the new player at Manchester United. It must be. And there's only 2 and a bit weeks left of this transfer window. It's shocking when you put it like that, isn't it? And yet... You know, as well, this is something that we've all become accustomed to as well. We were close to signing De Jong. We were close to signing De Jong 3 months ago. We were close to signing Rabiot 8 days ago. Time just slips away. It just slips away with United, doesn't it? 8 days ago we were going to sign Rabiot. He still isn't here. What do we do? What do we do at Manchester United? Because I really don't understand it. But look, lots to get into tonight. Apparently the De Jong transfer has expired. Manchester United players have held a meeting demanding more signings. Can you believe that? Do you believe that? And James Garner is apparently shocked and stunned that Manchester United want to sell him this summer transfer window. I tell you what, you're not the only one. You are not the only one who is shocked and stunned by that, James. I think we all are as well at Manchester United. So lots to get into tonight. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe and get all that. But why am I on time? Why am I early? Because I'm doing a watch along for Liverpool versus Palace straight after this. So you can tune in for that straight after this. It's going to be a long night to me. It's going to be a hot night. So we're sponsored by Sneak. You see what I did? You see what I did there? Sugar-free energy drinks. You can get one of these and 9 different sachets to try by using the code SneakBridge. The first 200 of you also get 10% off as well. Link is in the video description. Some lovely flavours there. Sugar-free, low-calorie. What you do is, you can also buy your 40 serving tubs like this. You take a scoop of this, or you starter pack sachet, you put it in, you fill your water up to there, you give it a shake, you've got your lovely drink. I'm on the cherry bomb. Shipped worldwide. Next day delivery in the UK. Please use the code SneakBridge on anything that you order. You can scan the QR code or you can go through the link in the description. The first 200 of you get 10% off with the code SneakBridge. So check it out whether you're reordering or ordering. If you're into energy drinks or you want to try a new energy drink, check it out. Lovely flavours. Blue raspberry, cherry bomb, tropic killer, strawberry and watermelon, purple storm, origins, which is rhubarb and custard, which I like, which is, you know, there we go. So check them all out. Thank you very much. 90%, big shout out to Sneak Energy, by the way. 90% De Jong will come to Manchester United, says Jared, and he's doing a laughy face. Jared. I get what you mean. Hilarious. Jared. Brilliant. Brilliant, Jared. Absolutely hilarious. Brilliant. I don't get it. I don't actually get what the joke is, Jared. You know, I may be many things. I'm not the CEO. I'm not the director of football. I'm not the manager, and I'm not negotiating the deal. So, if you're trying to be smug, the smugness is on your face. This club is giving me depression. Please, Glazers, leave my club, says Shauna. So look, we'll go straight into the De Jong story. That laugh was hilarious, wasn't it? I think the Sneak's kicking in. Give me some more. Cherry bomb in the house. It's going to be one of them streams. I haven't laughed like that in ages. Man United fans, we don't laugh like that anymore. What's wrong with me? Anyway, let's fly straight into it. So, these are names that you will have heard of throughout the summer transfer window. Marcel van der Kraan, Mike Verwey, Dutch journalists who've been, you know, informing us of what's been going on with Manchester United and Anthony and Timber and basically every transfer, because every transfer of Erik ten Hag, they've either played in the Eredivisie or they are currently playing in Eredivisie or they're Dutch. So we've heard a lot from Marcel van der Kraan and Mike Verwey this summer, all the way back as when we were linked to Ten Hag. So the latest is, this is coming in from Marcel van der Kraan, and I think it's coming in from Mike Verwey as well. So they're both saying it, I think, from very strong sources, that Manchester United's offer for Frenkie de Jong has expired. New negotiations will have to begin. They will have to make a new construction to fulfil the economic wishes of the player. And then the Telegraph go on to say, and there was a bit of conflict about this earlier on as to whether this was actually taken out of context or not. But effectively, Manchester United's offer for Frenkie de Jong has expired. He has refused to join them. Now, my understanding and my research on this is that makes sense. It's true, but it's out of context because he's always publicly refused to join us. So it's not like he's publicly coming out and saying, I'm not joining Manchester United, because he's always said that. He's always said he's not going to leave Barcelona. But the interesting thing for me is that this deal does seem to have expired. And what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Because it's very hard to understand what it means when a deal has expired, unless you take it in its literal sense, which the deal is over. But expired doesn't mean over. Expired means that, and I don't really understand this, that when United have agreed a fee with Barcelona, what was it, 6 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? So Man United agreed a fee with Barcelona. That deal is now expired. Now, this brings back to me memories of Jadon Sancho and Borussia Dortmund. Remember when I think it was a weird transfer window because of COVID, and I think that the transfer window was going to end at the end of September, and Borussia Dortmund said that there was somebody in the chat will know exactly, but I think it was something like August the 12th. And it was like, this. We're talking about Dortmund and Sancho. And Dortmund, way before August the 12th, said there was a deadline of August the 12th and then they weren't going to sell Sancho. And the deadline came and passed, and everyone was like, yeah, whatever about a deadline. And it came to pass that was the deadline. So I'm wondering if... I don't think it's like a pint of milk. You buy a pint of milk and it's out of date. I don't think that's what's happened. I'm wondering if when Man United and Barcelona agreed a fee, they set an expiry date of the 12th of August or something like that, which I think fits in with when Barcelona needed to register their players. So I'm not 100% what this means about expiry. It could have been a cut-off date set by Barcelona, but certainly it doesn't look good for Manchester United if there is an expiry date and we now need to renegotiate terms, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I suppose when you go back to this one here, new negotiations will have to begin. They will have to make a new construction to fulfil the economic wishes of the player. But the player has... I mean, this is where I am right and many other people are wrong then, because I said weeks and weeks ago that terms had been agreed with De Jong and his agent. And everyone was like, no, it's not been done. Well, it's not been officially done because he would be a Man United player. But when United were negotiating with Barcelona on the fee, it's always been agreed with Manchester United, a broad agreement is what they call it, that this is what we'll pay him and this is what we'll pay him. So I'm wondering if now what this actually means is that if Frenkie de Jong decides to join Manchester United, the terms that we were offering before will need to be renegotiated. So in essence, if he was on 300 grand a week, he wants 400 grand a week now. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that is the quote there, and there's a lot of people are saying that it wasn't said that he's refused to join them, which is what Managing Barca has put out via the Telegraph. Yeah, but I wouldn't read too much into that last bit anyway. I'm just reading some of the chats there. I wouldn't read too much into the bit that Frenkie de Jong's refused to join Manchester United, because that's always been the case publicly anyway. This I just find weird with the De Jong thing. I really do. Mark, this is where United are going to panic buy players and start paying ridiculous wages for players we don't need. League One, here we come, says Victor. Mark, did you see if this is the real that Richard Arnold and John Murtagh have asked Ed Woodward for help on the transfer window, says Christian Silva. Yeah, Mark, how you, Beth and Adam, etc. are glazes out, yet buy season tickets is insanity and fake. Actions speak louder than words, says Nihang. There's an action for you. It's because you're speaking out your arse. Season tickets were bought probably back in April. And back in April, I'm sure you were there saying, give Ten Hag time, this is a brand new United, like we were told. So don't get on the back of people who pay money to go and watch Manchester United, especially when those season tickets would have been renewed way before we knew this summer transfer window was going to happen. Now, and it's also down to the individual what they do. 30 million for Tony, 50 for Ndidi, Premier Pre-Proven. Yeah, you're not doing that either, Duckling. God. Rohit, welcome to member. You're not going to get Ndidi for 50, 60 million when they want Fofana for 80. I never thought he was going to get De Jong until what I was told today. All parties confident deal will be done mid to end of the week, says Sean Turner. Sean, since when have you been an ITK? Come on, Sean. You're very good You're very good, Sean. I like your comments. Sean Turner is a legend of the chat. He regularly gets involved. But I've never heard Sean come out with what I was told to today about De Jong. So, is Sean guessing? Is he jumping on a bandwagon? I don't know. But you've reminded me of a couple of things I want to talk about, actually. So let me just do that. But look, in relation to Frenkie de Jong, let me just say this. Have I ever said the deal is off? Have I ever said I'm not confident? Have I ever knocked it down from 90%? No, I haven't. And the fact that it's gone very, very quiet for Chelsea now gives me a lot of confidence. So I'm going to stick with what I said on TalkSport last night. I was told yesterday morning that Frenkie de Jong would be a Manchester United player by the time we played Liverpool. Mentioned it to Alex Crook, who's got better contacts than me. He's been very good this summer, and he said I've heard exactly the same thing. I don't know whether we heard it from the same people because we didn't go that far because we were live on the radio at the time, and then he went off the radio, and I've only spoken to him about Ghana actually since. So, yeah, that's the story we've heard. That was from yesterday. Let's wait and see what happens. But this, to me, sounds like... I don't think Barcelona have said to Manchester United the deal's expired, so you've got to renegotiate it. That sounds to me like personal terms. And all I know about personal terms, and I can't remember when I did the video, it might have been end of June, it could have been July. I did a video on a Sunday saying terms agreed, because what I'd been told is that Manchester United had a broad agreement with the agent, and this would be the rough signing on fee and this would be the rough wages, and De Jong was happy with that if he left Barcelona. Now, if they're now saying they're not happy with that, they want to renegotiate, I'm thinking this. Breaking news, I'm thinking that this is to do with the fact that, I figured it out live on air, and I should have figured it out before. I'm thinking that this is about a new construction because we agreed a £70 million fee with Barcelona, and we agreed wages of about 375 grand a week with De Jong, give or take a few thousand. And that was going to be the deal if Barcelona paid the 17 million. Now, Barcelona still haven't paid the 17 million. So I'm thinking De Jong and his agents have said we need to renegotiate the wages and the signing on fee to take into account the 17 million we're owed if we're going to get this deal done. So I would imagine his wages are going up and his signing on fee is going up to cover some of the deferred wages. Maybe that is what's happening here. But it doesn't sound like it's anything to do with negotiating a new fee with Barcelona. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens with that. But could be a big week for Frenkie de Jong. We'll have to wait and see. Philemon, thank you very much and welcome to the Members Club. 30 plus years of supporting this great club, but I've seen better organised Sunday League sides, says English Country Farmer. Maguire's just finished his 15 kilometres, says Jay. And Mark, we did get the new manager bounce. Players gave it in the first couple of pre-season games and figured that was not good enough, says Michael Fetty. You know what? I'm just going to drop this in now because sometimes I forget. Somebody said on the afternoon show, do you think the players will turn against the manager? And I said, well, I wouldn't trust these players not to turn against anybody to protect their own backsides. But I was thinking about it tonight. It won't take long for these players to turn on the manager because the manager is probably giving them enough evidence. I was thinking about this today. Malacia is under 5'10". I think he's about 5'8". Lisandro Martinez is 5'10". How is he ever going to pick Malacia and Martinez together? Because all you need to do is loft the ball up to the back post and anybody over 5'11" is going to dominate them because they're both small. And then the players have got an excuse to go, look at this. Why is he doing this in the Premier League? Why is he playing two small players in the back four? Maguire, he's got every right to start saying, what am I supposed to do? I'm playing with a guy who's not good enough in the air. I think that will be when the players turn on Ten Hag, when the results carry on like this and they can start to blame the selections and the tactics of the manager. He's all right at the moment because the players maintain a good relationship with the manager, but I think when the results start going badly and you can start picking holes in his selections and his ideas, for example, picking Eriksen as a holding midfield, we talked about it on Saturday, ridiculously bad decision, ridiculously naive. I can't think of a Premier League manager who's decent who would say, let's play Christian Eriksen as a holding midfielder away to Brentford. You just wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't do it. And maybe that is because Ten Hag is used to being an Ajax manager and dominating 75% of the league with 75% possession. But, there are a couple of holes that these players... Well, the media have already started, to be fair, but these players could start going, hey, let's stop pushing it onto Ronaldo for a minute. Let's push it onto Ten Hag. He's out of his depth. We need a real manager now. So those things could happen if results continue, but we're not at that stage yet, and I don't think it will happen for quite a while. Van Gaal warned Eric, and do you think Maguire has his contact? He must play and be captain, says Niki. But he wasn't the captain when we gave him the contract, and he's not had a new contract, so I don't think that would be the case really. And I'm very aware that we don't just focus in on one problem, whether it's Ronaldo, Maguire, McTominay, whatever. The whole team is a waste. The whole board is a waste. The whole owners are a bit waste. We need to keep the momentum going of Manchester United is a disgrace from top to bottom. If Erik Ten Hag doesn't play players who are willing to play for him, he will lose his job. And if he isn't allowed to make those changes, he should walk away, says Ari. Garner's being sold to finance De Jong wages, says Mo. You've hit the nail on the head. I want to talk about Garner. Mark, when are you going to sit Gabby Agbonlahor down on Talk Sport, says Julian. I was on with him the other day, actually, and I did exactly that. It was a bit of banter, but I did. But, we're not on the same show. So, hi, Mark. We rewatched the Telegraph podcast. Not once have they mentioned that Frenkie doesn't want to go to United. Most likely a deferred wages issue, says Mac. But Mac, as I said, even if they did say De Jong doesn't want to come to United, why would we worry? Because he's never wanted to come to United. That's always been the story. I'm not worried about that. I think that the deferred wages thing is probably what this is all about. And can I just say, James Garner being put up for sale by Manchester United is an effing disgrace. It's an effing disgrace. The club needs to be emailed again. It's only a week ago that we had another disgrace where they were bidding money, nearly £15 million for Arnautovic. They're now selling James Garner for 15 million quid. Like, he's not even had a chance. I watched Man United at the weekend. We're 4-0 down. The game is over. And he brings Scott McTominay back on again. That could have been Garner. I'm disgusted by it. I think I've heard that Garner's in shock by it himself. He's like, well, why wouldn't he be in shock? He's been given no chance. And he can't be worse than what we've got. That's the thing. You can't just say, well, maybe he's not good enough. He's clearly better than Scott McTominay. Like, he is better than McTominay. He spent a year in a team that got promoted in the Championship. Like, McTominay couldn't get a Championship side promoted. He'd be sitting on the bench. Only at Man United will he get game time. And Garner has not been given a chance. He's now being sold. He's one of our brightest young players coming through in the last few years. And we're selling him. You know why we're selling him? This is the brilliance of this. When I say brilliance, absolutely makes you want to throw up. We're selling Garner because we can't sell the 5 or 6 players we thought we were going to sell to raise extra funds. We need to raise extra funds. The budget is set and the Glazers won't go above it. So basically the Glazers are saying, if you want to spend more money, you've got to sell some players. We can't sell Bay, we can't sell Jones, we can't sell Wan-Bissaka, we can't sell Tellez, he's gone on loan. We didn't sell Dean Henderson, he's gone on loan. We can't sell Twansebi, we can't sell Williams. 7 players that shouldn't even be here. We can't sell them. So we've raised nothing apart from 10 million for Pereira. So what they're doing now is, and this is a classic sign of desperation as well, they cannot sell any of the players that they want to sell. We'll come back to them in a minute. You're not going to sell players that you want to desperately keep. You're not going to sell Rashford because we've got no other winger. So you sell a player that's... Well, the mentality of United is, well, Garner's not played any games anyway. Let's just sell him. So we're actually selling an asset. We've become a selling club. That's basically what we've come. Selling Bay or Twansebi or someone like that who's not part of the plans, you can get that. But selling Garner, we're selling an asset. And you know what? Chelsea and Spurs have inquired about him. I don't think we'd sell him to them. That is disgraceful. It's an absolute disgrace. We are selling Garner to raise money. When have we become this football club? And also, on top of that, what's going to happen is we'll sell Garner because people will want to buy him. And we're going to be stuck with Eric Bay, Axel Twansebi, Brandon Williams, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Phil Jones. Tellez is on loan. We're going to be stuck with all these players that we wanted to sell on big money. It gets worse. It just gets worse every day. I'm stunned. I'm not stunned. I'm just disgusted. We're a selling club now. We're selling good players to raise money. We're like bloody Everton. Dharmesh Sheth from Sky Sports reported that regardless of what Van der Kraan said, sources from United are still confident of completing the deal, says Bradley. Can I repeat again? I said it last night on TalkSport that I was told yesterday morning that Frenkie de Jong will be a Manchester United player by the time we play Liverpool. And on TalkSport with Alex Crook, he confirmed he'd heard the same thing. So all these people who are talking about confidence or anything like that, that story was the first one last night, and I stand by that. Let's see what happens. I'm not saying it'll be done by the Liverpool game because it wasn't my information, but look, there's every reason to remain confident that we will still sign Frenkie de Jong. I will say this. MI says selling Ghana is a disgrace, sends horrible message to the youth. It's a horrible message. A horrible message, you're right. Just to clarify, I'm not in the know, says Sean Turner. The Ghana transfer is a joke, makes zero sense. We could actually get more for McTominay and he's worse than Ghana. Yeah. Do you think Sir Alex got any involvement for Scott regular first team football, says Jake? I don't know at that football club anymore. I don't understand the captaincy choice. I don't understand why certain people are getting picked and certain people aren't. It just stinks of favouritism, doesn't it? I'm confused as to why no one asks Eric Ten Hag the question of why these players keep getting played. It's comical at this point. We need Nunes from Sporting Lisbon, says Miguel. But yeah, look, I think that just to close on Frenkie de Jong and move on to the next topic, I already knew, and I think everybody knew, if we'd got him at the end of July, we would have been paying him over 350k a week. His wages were described to me in late June as astronomical. God knows what we're paying him now. And I hope Frenkie de Jong isn't like Di Maria, because we are, or Alexis Sanchez. I mean, remember Alexis Sanchez came to United on his first day, wanted to leave, even though we made him the top paid player in the Premier League. He wanted to leave. So Di Maria was gone within a year. Paying big wages is not a guarantee. It's a big risk. And I think when we do sign Frenkie de Jong, if we sign Frenkie de Jong, I and many others will be very happy that Ten Hag has finally got his man. But bloody hell, it's a huge risk, and it's a huge investment, and it's a huge, huge, huge obvious sign that he's only coming to Manchester United because of the money. Like he is. Like there is, I mean, and I don't even blame him for that. I think you would only come to Manchester United for money at the moment. So, we're chucking a lot of money at de Jong to do this deal, and whilst I think you have to get the player that the manager wants, and the manager is obsessed by this player. So I think you have to get de Jong, and I think you have to get Anthony as well, because he wants those two players. I also agree that for all the money we're throwing at de Jong, and in total it could be as much as 80-90 million quid. That 80-90 million pounds could have got you Lema, could have got you Tillemans, and it could have got you Gakpo. So, but we'll have to just see what happens. I think with Eric Ten Hag, he has my full support and he has your full support. But, I mean, somebody said it a few weeks ago. Was it Frank de Boer at Palace? Came in and was going to do great things and was gone within 6 weeks. I don't think that will happen with Ten Hag, but the way that we've started this season, who's to say that we won't lose our first 4, 5, 6 games? And then you're in big trouble, aren't you? So, yeah, huge risk, but the thing that really resonates is the fact that he should have had these players in before the season even started. Varane and Bay is the only way to play a high line, says Manchester. Yeah, I was thinking about that today, actually. I don't know why we don't play Bay and Varane at centre-back. I don't think Maguire is an amazingly better passer than those two. And I think if Martinez is going to go into the midfield or is not going to be good enough to play centre-back, then, I mean, I would love to have seen Bay and Varane play regularly. Whether they could do or not with injuries is open for debate. Mark, you can't win 6th or 7th place this early in the season, but you can sure lose it, says Michael. The painful thing is it's not hard for the board to run a club of this financial might if they employed experts, says James. And if no one else is in for Frenkie de Jong and we pull out a Barca Scrooge, surely it's us that have Barca over a barrel now, says Graham. I'm no transfer expert, but if it becomes public that you're after one guy, is that not giving leverage to the team you're negotiating with, says Brian. Yep. Why can't we have clauses in contracts like Rash has to score 10 non-penalty goals in the Premier League to get the same wage or take a 10% wage cut, says Ubdav. I don't think anybody does that sort of thing, so that's probably an explanation as to why. So yeah. Let's move on to something else. But there was a story today that Manchester United's CEO Richard Arnold and Director of Football John Murtagh had turned to Ed Woodward for help and in what has been a shambolic transfer window. Now I forget where it was from. Maybe somebody in the chat can remember which outlet it was. I don't want to say an outlet because I'll be guessing, but I definitely read it this afternoon and because I commented on it. I mean, Ed Woodward was an absolute crap CEO. I'm sorry, he was. I'd say it to his face. I'll say it on here. So, he was a crap CEO. Absolutely crap. Rubbish. Crap. If Richard Arnold and John Murtagh are going to him for advice, you can't polish a turd. Like, it's like the blind leading the blind. I just do not get it. It's terrifying, isn't it? De Jong is also a professional. He would also want to win if he comes here. Unfortunately, we don't have a Champions League and we need a Champions League type player, says Ray. Yeah, everything I've ever seen of De Jong, Ray, it doesn't suggest he's going to be a Sanchez or a Di Maria, but he is going to be expensive. Welcome to Members Club, Jan. And just as well, just very, very quickly, I want to talk about this as well because I'll forget. This link to Jamie Vardy. I've had a few people contact me today. I think I saw it on the Court Offside website. We're on about it. A few other outlets were on about it. Jamie Vardy to Manchester United on a 1-year deal. No. What are we becoming? What are we doing? Now, you shouldn't let personal matters get involved in football matters. I know lots of ex-players who are complete knobheads, but we would class them as legends. Some of them not very nice people, but we will call them legends, and that's fine because they did the business on the pitch. I'm not inviting them around for Christmas dinner. I just wanted them to provide us with happy memories, and they did. They did their job as a player. So, if Vardy's a bit of a knobhead off the pitch, does it really matter if he comes in and scores goals? To me, not necessarily. But am I not right in thinking that our all-time top scorer's wife has just been to court against Jamie Vardy's wife? There is something to be said that maybe this is just not really the right thing we should do. And it's not on the level of Arnautovic and the accusations and things he'd done, but it doesn't sit right with me that we're going to go and try and get a striker whose wife's just been to court with our all-time scorer's wife. Now, some would say that's ridiculous, Mark. I get that. But that's just my opinion. I just think it's a bit odd to do that when that's so fresh. And whatever you think about Rooney, he is our all-time top scorer and he is a legend. So, why would you just disrespect your past in a way? I don't get why you'd do that. But in a footballing sense, look, Jamie Vardy runs around a lot. But he's predominantly a counter-attacking striker. His link-up play is crap. Like, he's a ball over the top striker. That's what Leicester do. They soak up pressure and they hit on the break. Does that sound like a Ten Hag striker? Like, the one thing Vardy would be good at in a Ten Hag system is pressing from the front. But everything else, link-up play, final third, he's not that type of a striker. So it just stinks of pure desperation again. And we'd probably give him 200 grand a week. Why do you think ex-managers were backed when we were in the Europa, but we're not backing Erik Ten Hag? Finally got a good manager and we're not backing him, says Ivan. I think the money was there to back Ten Hag. I just think we've got pure incompetence to deliver. I think when Ten Hag said, I want Timber, Anthony, De Jong, and whoever else he said, I think the club really thought they were going to deliver it. And I think Ten Hag thought he was going to get it, but they just can't deliver it. The spine of our team is horrible. Maguire, McFred, Bruno, Martial, Rashford. What the hell are they going to do if Ronaldo goes too? Club's a joke, says Seb Watson. Is it true that the Glazers are ready to sell United? No, it's not true, Akshay. Asking Woodward for help is like the Titanic asking the iceberg for help. Well, I love it. I bloody love it. MI, you're welcome. Why don't people do this enough? I do all the analogies and I'm happy to do them. But when somebody comes up with something like that, I've got to applaud it. Give me some sneak. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. MI says, asking Woodward for help is like the Titanic asking the iceberg for help. Brilliant. He also says, Vardy transfer would be a mistake, but desperation setting in now. You know what, MI? That was so good. You can be our sneak comment of the show. Absolutely fantastic. Don't forget, if you want to get yourself some sneak, sugar-free energy drinks, sneakenergy.com. You can scan the QR code, or you can go through the link in the description. Lovely flavours, low-calorie, sugar-free energy drinks delivered to your door. First 200 of you get 10% off with the code SNEAKBRIDGE. Get your order in, next day deliver in the UK, and they do deliver worldwide. I'm on the Cherry Bomb, but Blue Raspberry, Purple Storm, Tropic Killer, fantastic flavours. I put, get a starter pack where you can get 9 sachets as well. I always put a couple of ice cubes in as well. That's just the way I roll. We bought Koundé while Chelsea wanted him. Manchester City wanted him. Who is the only inch taller than Martinez? Height issue, only a symptom of bad system, says Gog. Yeah, I've not given up on Martinez. You'll notice I haven't really said anything about Martinez. I didn't even go in on Martinez that much at the weekend. It's early days for Martinez. You know, look at Romero. He took time to bed in at Spurs. In our own club, we've seen it with Vidic, so it can take. It's way too early with Martinez to give in, and I do think he's got the right mentality, unlike a lot of our players. Mark, don't think we are hurrying things up. Remember when Klopp went to Liverpool, they were 8th that season. Eric Ten Hag would take time to become boss here, says Jash. Don't compare us to Liverpool, mate. No point. They've got a decent board. Can you see Ten Hag going to a back five? Says Bradley. I hope not. He probably will do against Liverpool, but I wouldn't go to a back five because it's not who Ten Hag is. And what if he, I suppose the reason I don't want him to go to a back five. Patrice Evra was 5'9" and he was really good left back in the EPL, says Ishmael. The problem is United punching above their weight now in the transfer market. It's like if Leeds made audacious bids for players of the past legacy, says the SP freely. And Mark, is it possible to publicly invite other fans on your channel for a chat to minimise the difference among fans and help us all unite, says Lily. Mate, they've always been welcome. I've been doing this for 7 years. Anybody's welcome. Must, everybody. They're all welcome. The Red Army, they just don't want to do it. Like, the door's open. It's not a come and do it. It's not a, if you don't do it, you're a coward. Nothing like that. But they are welcome and they know they're welcome. And if they want to use the platform, they're welcome. And that's always been the way. So we say no more. They're welcome. And, with a smile on the face, whether they say yes or no. I don't want Ten Hag to go to a back five, and I'll explain why. It's desperation, and what do we become then? We've employed this manager because he plays a back four with a high line and 75% possession and loads of shots. If he becomes a back five manager in his 3rd game, we've employed the wrong man. It's as simple as that. If we wanted a back five manager, there was plenty of options out there. Pochettino's done it. But Ten Hag's not a back five counter-attacking manager. We employed Ten Hag, and I wanted Ten Hag, and I know why I wanted Ten Hag, and it was for the way he plays football. I don't want him to suddenly, after 3 games, go, let's play a back five and park the bus and counter-attack. I mean, we may as well get Ollie back. So he might have to do it against Liverpool, but I would hope it would only be 1 game, because you know who a back five. I mean, who's knocking on the door asking for a back five. The captain. Let's not, because he plays well in a back five where he can stand on the edge of the box. Let's not forget why that when they flew in, experts negotiate because they needed help and meant business. Over a month later, this is where we are, says Cody. Coolburn, welcome to the members club. Well, look, let's move on to the next thing, because I really wanted to get your opinions on this. This is coming in from the Mirror, who've always been pretty good in relation to Ten Hag. I bet Wreck-It Ralph laughing at these fools saying I left you with free advice on recruiting players, says Oddball. Thank you very much. Man United players have had a positive relationship with Ten Hag and feel he has been handicapped by the club's failure to deliver the signing he needs to complete the top 4. So I just think this is complete nonsense. Again, I think it's just pure spin to make us feel sorry for shit players. That's the fans. That's what we think, and we've been saying it for weeks. As if the Man United players are sat there going, it's not fair, It's not fair on the manager. It's not fair on the manager. He's been handicapped. It's ridiculous. He's not been given the players that he wants. I know it's a disgrace. You've just bloody played on Saturday and lost the game for him. There's no excuse. New signings or not, there's no excuse. That's nonsense. Oh, I can't, imagine I'm any first team Man United player. I could be any of them. Just imagine. Doesn't matter. Goalkeeper, right back, whatever, right? I'm one of those players and I'm sat there. It's a bloody disgrace. Hey, Mirror, you can print this. Yeah, I do play for United, yeah. It's a bloody disgrace. This manager's being handicapped by the lack of signings. It's a bloody joke. I'm a blame shifting. Damn right. But it's a joke. It is. Bye. I've played on Saturday. I've played for Man United on Saturday and just lost 4-0 in the first half. And I'm moaning and saying that the manager's been handicapped. I've just bloody played. I've played. It's my fault we lost. And I'm moaning that the manager's been handicapped. I can't believe it. It's like a turkey, blaming that. It's like a turkey walking around in the garden saying it's a bloody joke that they've had a nut roast. They should have ate me. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There's absolutely no excuse, by the way. Whether we should have had De Jong and Anthony, and we should have done. That team we put out against Brentford and Brighton should have won those games. I'm not having this. I'm not having this. I, as a fan, and you as a fan, can say that the club have hung Ten Hag out to dry. And they have. But there's no way the players can get on that bandwagon as well. You can't go out and get stuffed 4-0 and then go, boo, it's a disgrace that the manager's not got the players that he wants. Like they're one of us. You went out on Saturday and got stuffed, lads. There's no excuse. We didn't need De Jong and Anthony to beat fucking Brentford. That team, you get paid more than most of the bloody Liverpool squad. You've got no excuse. You can't use any angle to shift the blame. Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair on Ten Hag. He's not got the signings that he wants. We need more signings. Bollocks. We had a team good enough and you bottled it. But it gets better. Man United senior players feel the lack of decisive action by the club in the transfer market this summer has left them with little hope of competing for the top 4. Again, it's ridiculous. You're basically saying you're shit. How can the players be complaining about signings? As if you're going to complain about signings. You're on the bench if they make those signings, and you're basically admitting you're shit. I've never heard such nonsense in my life. I've never heard such nonsense. Maybe one or two of the players, look, we know Ronaldo's done it. Maybe a couple of them have done it. But, they can't collectively sit there going, yeah, we need more signings. It's basically an admission that you're crap. Melissa Reddy has said that Erik Ten Hag was amazed at how psychologically drained his players were. I mean, that's just research, Eric. If you've watched United for the last 2 years, you'd have known all this. If I was Man United manager, I wouldn't expect anything else. Like, it's very obvious that they're very weak-minded and emotionally drained. It's very obvious. And then back to the Mirror, a core senior Man United players, including Ronaldo, Maguire, Rashford, Shaw and Fernandes, have told the club hierarchically they need help in the form of new signings before the window closes. I mean, it makes sense with one or two of those players at max. But if those 5 players have been to the club hierarchy asking for new signings, it's wrong on all levels. Why are players going to... remember when we spoke to Paul Ince about this a few months ago, and I said, would you ever go behind the manager's back to talk to the board? No. That's Paul Ince and Roy Keane and Brian Robson. They never would have gone to the board to stick up for the manager. These sort of things need calling out for what they are, because if they have happened, it shows what's still going on. Player power. If those 5 players had been and spoken to Murta and Woodward, I'd tell them to F off. I'd say, I'm the CEO, I'm the director of football. If you've got a problem, go and speak to the manager. Now get out of my effing office, you bunch of wasters. You've just lost 4-0. And I'd applaud Murta and Arnold for that, because they haven't done it. What the bloody hell are players doing speaking to the hierarchy to back the manager? What an absolute joke of a football club if that's happened. Player power. I'm not naming names, but do you think those 5 players have got any right to go to the club and say, sign players, the manager needs more support, when they've not supported the manager themselves or the previous 2 managers? It's a joke. It's just pure spin to make us feel sympathetic for these players who've been pathetic. But I will call it out because we keep saying this. They shouldn't have a voice. They shouldn't be talking to the board. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve to wear the shirt, some of them. They definitely shouldn't be speaking to the board. The culture at Manchester United is a joke. The structure is ridiculous. Players should not be speaking to the hierarchy about signings or anything else. Their ceiling should be the manager. And at best, it should be the assistant manager. They shouldn't even be getting access to the manager that often, let alone the director of football or the CEO. What kind of circus are we running at Manchester United? The best circus in town! I mean, it's just ridiculous. And looking at those names, 1, 2, 3, 4, why would they be asking for signings when those signings would be kicking them out of the team? It's mad. It's absolutely mad. I don't know what purpose that serves. The only purpose it can serve is sympathy. I think we're meant to be sympathetic to the players. I cannot be sympathetic to these players, and I don't think many others can. When I hear that they've gone and spoken to the hierarchy, whether they have or they haven't, I'm like, concentrate on your own bloody job. How can any of those players go and speak to the board about signing players when they've just shat on the shirt at the weekend? Ridiculous. Dean, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Funny when they are on high wages and they need new signings to not get smashed by Brentford. Exactly, Will. There's no excuse. None of those players should be going into the board. I mean, exactly, I would say that. I'd say, hold on a minute. Let me just get everybody else in. I'm going to get the board in as well. These 5 players wanted to sign players. You're on 400 grand a week. You're on 250 grand a week. You're on 250 grand a week. You're on 200 grand a week. And you're on 175 grand a week. And you want me to buy more players. And you've just lost 4-0 to Brentford. Swivel on it. Swivel on it. You know how much you cost me? 80 million. You know how much you cost us? 50 million. You know how much you cost us? 27 million. You're having a bloody laugh, lads. Don't come in my office telling me to spend more money when you can't even deliver against Brentford and Brighton. Get out. Get out. If I could find a club to sell you to, I would. But as we know, we don't have that level of leadership within the club, or a director of football, or a CEO. So I guarantee these players probably, well, you hear about it all the time. The player power in that club is ridiculous. A journalist wrote about it last season, and I don't for 1 minute disbelieve it, that some of these players can just go behind the manager's back and have the ear of the CEO within minutes. Disgusting. The structure and the way that club's run is a joke. And this is what I mean. The Glazers are the big problem, but the way that football club, even if you get rid of the Glazers, we would need to bring in experienced CEOs and directors of football and all sorts, who basically would come in and say to the players, F off. Don't ever come. I don't even want to see you in the same fucking office as me, let alone banging on my door. Get out. This is not how a big club is run. Get out. The only time I'm going to speak to you is when you're signing a new contract or I'm selling you. You do not come into my office telling me to sign players for anybody. Get in the shirt and do your bloody job and feel privileged to do it. But at Man United, we don't get that. We get crap performances on the pitch and then gobby demanding off the pitch. I can't believe how badly this club is run. It's a joke. Honestly feel like I'm dreaming with the state of the club. It's shocking, says Chaos. No motivation to watch my love United anymore. Well, I'll always watch United because it means so much to me, and I was brought up on it. But yeah, it's a hard battle. It's a hard battle, and we've got no power. Like, I think there's so many good people who know what needs to happen at United, mainly in the fan base, but we've just got no bloody power. I can't believe there's, the amount of people United employ. I can't believe we haven't got people in power who can make the changes that need to happen. Virgil says, De Gea, Varane, Martinez, Malacia, Sancho, Ronaldo, the young players, and maybe Bruno. These are the players I would keep and build with the rest. Terminate now, says Virgil. Gary Neville on Sky just saying Conte isn't a United manager. This guy is deluded. Stephen, Gary Neville is not deluded. Gary Neville is stubborn. And how you could ever sit there and say that Antonio Conte is not a Manchester United manager when he's gone into Tottenham, got them into the Champions League and bought 5 or 6 players that we would absolutely love to have. Kulusevski, Bentancur, Bissouma, Jed Spence, Richarlison. They're all better than what we've got. Like, it's ridiculous. How is he not a Man United manager? I mean, I just don't know what planet Gary's on at the moment. At times, sometimes he speaks absolute genius, and then other times it's like he's been licking a dustbin lid. It's ridiculous what comes out of his mouth. Just garbage. Just absolute garbage. He just doesn't like Conte, does he? Which is his right. But if you come out with a comment like that, everyone else has got a right to come back at it. I cancel plans on weekends to watch United and get disappointed every time, says Matty. It's like going to my mother-in-law's place thinking the shepherd's pie will be good this time. Both terrible and hurt my stomach, says Matty. Dean Bell, welcome to the members club. Remember the Mitchell, Ranić, Eric Ten Hag dream? Now look at us. I don't recognise the club anymore, says Luke. And these players should be politicians. So much spin, says Emily Derrick. They are politicians, basically. That's what the modern Manchester United player has become. They have become politicians because it's all about self-preservation. I got so tired of saying this last season, the self-preservation society, because this is nothing new to us. We know what these players do and we know what these players are like. It's all about self-preservation. Can I get a new contract? Can I avoid the blame? Can I shift the blame onto somebody else? And it's continuous, relentless, and it's boring. I mean, I did a video this afternoon and I don't know how many people watched it, but effectively that's what it was about. It was about blame shifting. Nothing's changed from last year. We've still got the leaks. We've still got the lack of professionalism. We've still got the downing of the tools. We've still got the same players being picked all the time. I mean, I don't want to be UK gold here and repeat myself, but effectively, we are still the same, doing the same thing. It's shocking. It really is. Anyway, we can continue the conversation. I've got to go over and do Crystal Palace versus Liverpool on That's Football. Don't forget Sneak energy drinks. You can scan the QR code. You can go through the link in the description. Sugar-free energy drinks. Lovely stuff. Shipped to your door. Please use the code SneakBridge. The first 200 of you get 10% off, and that's going fast. So make sure you click the link and get your orders in now. You get your starter pack where you get one of these and 9 different sachets to try, or you can go straight for your 40 serving tubs like this. 1 scoop, fill it up with water, shake it all up. Fantastic drinks. Not powdery at all, actually. Really like them. Check them out. Sneak Energy. Right, I will see you over on the watch along in about 5 minutes' time. See you there. Crystal Palace against Liverpool, and we'll continue talking about United.